Good morning students. Today I am going to take a video of IELTS listening. Now students, you have come across the word IELTS. Now what is the meaning of IELTS or what is the full form of IELTS? I hope that you have heard IELTS. So IELTS stands for or its full name is International English Language Testing System. Now what is IELTS? Now IELTS is a testing task for the students who want to study overseas. Now there are two types of IELTS that we can consider. One is academic and the second one is general. Now academic is meant for the students who want to study overseas or those who want to go for further studies to foreign countries. Now general is meant for those who want to get PR in different countries. But now today I am going to talk about only academic. Now in IELTS there are total 4 modules we have. One is listening, reading, writing and speaking. So there are total 4 modules. In all 4 modules the different timings are there. But as I am going to take only listening, I am going to focus all these 3 modules. That I am going to make a separate video for it. But I am going to focus more on listening part 1. Students, in listening, the timing is 30 minutes. So here I write 30 minutes. The listening is whole for 30 minutes. But we are as the initial stage, we are going to focus only on part 1. There are total 4 parts we have in IELTS listening. Part 1. Part 2, Part 3 and Part 4. Earlier it was section 1, section 2, section 3 and section 4. Now the word is changed. Now it becomes Part 1, Part 2, Part 3 and Part 4. Now in Part 4 students, there are different types of questions that we have. Today in this video I am going to give you some strategies at the initial stage or at the beginning, what type of things that we need to keep in mind, how do we get good bang in IELTS listening. So we are going to focus more on part 1 only students. There are total 4 types of questions that we have in part 1 and I am going to give you some strategies, some tips how to do IELTS listening. First we have orientation at place. So when you open any IELTS listening of part 1, you will get the type of question. The first one is orientation at place. The second one is inquiring information. And the third one, mastering the alphabets. And the fourth we have number and dates. This is a kind of tip that I have written. This is not a part of IELTS listening part 1, but I have written for the beginning or for the initial stage. Right in mother tongue. As I said earlier that the listening is 30 minutes we have and there are total 4 parts, and after you complete your listening students, you will get 10 minutes to transfer your answer in an answer sheet. So when at the beginning stage, what you need to do students is you have to attend only part 1, and the moment you just put up headphones and you start listening, what you need to do, just go through 5 or 6 questions of part 1 in listening. Then only that you can attend listening. That I am going to give you in IELTS listening part 1. As I said earlier that in IELTS listening part 1, there are the type of questions that you get. One is orientation at place, the second one is inquiring information, the third one is mastering the alphabet, and the fourth one number and dates. Now the fifth one I have written, but this is not a part of IELTS listening part 1, but this is a kind of strategy I have written over it, that is right in your mother tongue. When you do listening and it is the 30 minutes, the time duration we have, that is 30 minutes. And after you complete your listening, you get 10 minutes to transfer your answer. So sometimes what happens at the initial stage, you get confused regarding spellings. So while listening, you can write down in your mother tongue that it is really easy for you to understand, and when you get 10 minutes to transfer your answer, you can make a correct spelling of it. So that's the reason that I have written students here, write in your mother tongue. Now I will explain to you all the 4 parts of questions that you get in part 1. First is orientation at place. Now orientation at place means what? So when you start listening of part 1 in IELTS, you get orientation at place. Orientation at place means a kind of conversation that you get, a kind of monologue that you get, a kind of information that you need to get. So it is about a place. About a place means it can be an institute, school, restaurant, campus, sports club, anything, and they are talking about a place, a kind of information that you get, or you get a type of name you get. So here all the information that you get regarding places, so you need to be very careful to listen to it and get the correct name of the place. Now the second one is inquiring information. Again I said it is a conversation where you need to get information that 2 or 3 people are talking and just they want to inquire something about admission, about sport club, they want to get in. So that's the reason that it is a kind of information and inquiry. Many times what happens, students, they give wrong information in the conversation and they say sorry, this is not the name of a sport club, or this is not name of a restaurant. So they say sorry. Again I would say, so here you need to be very careful of listening those names, and again you need to listen. So when the second time they say sorry, the second time you need to do listening very carefully and write the alphabets. The third one is mastering the alphabet. Here again I said that mastering the alphabet means just they say the names of hotel, restaurant, or maybe any institute name. So they say alphabet. And in saying alphabet, you need to do listening very carefully, attentively, so that you can get the correct alphabet. Because sometimes what happens, at the initial stage you may not understand what it says. So you need to do listening twice in order to get the correct answer. I am not talking about the answer that immediately you can write at the first attempt, but just you need to do listening. The second one, the fourth one that we have here, number and dates. Now in here, in part 1 of IELTS, the 4 type of question that we have is number and dates. So here I am asking about any number or dates or email IDs, etc. And then you get the correct one. Now talking about dates and number, many times that students get confused regarding the dates. That here 30 and 38. Now there are 2 times we say 13 and here 38. So we need to listen to it very carefully. Why? Because we get only first attempt. Second time you are not going to get listening. And so that's the reason that you need to do listening very carefully and attentively. Yes students, now I am going to explain to you only part 1, as I said beginning of my video. In part 1 I just discuss about the type of questions that you get in part 1, and in part 1 the type of questions along with it that you get what information that usually you have in part 1 along with the types of questions. So here full name I have written, I will explain to you again. Email address, telephone number, months of the year, wrong numbers are given, correct spelling. Okay. So at the beginning, just you put up your headphones and you start listening. What you need to do? Only listen. Don't worry about getting answers. Initial stage, many students what they do, just they try to listen at the first stage, and out of 7 or 8 questions of part 1, they get 3 or 4 correct. Why? Because at the initial stage, at the first time they do listening, they don't have any idea of IELTS, and they get only 3 or 4 correct answers. So when you want to start What you need to do, only start listening without getting answer. Don't worry about answers. Don't try to attempt answer. Only you can do listening of part 1, maybe a conversation, monologue, or any asking about information. What you need to do, only listen till the first part gets over. First, when you start listening, you will get some ideas. What you need to do while listening, you need to visualize the whole picture, whatever the conversation goes on. So, whether they are talking about any admission at university, they are getting an admission at sport club. So, kind of information they give in a conversation. What you need to do, you need to just imagine the whole picture. You need to create in your mind and start listening only. And what you need to do, only get whole picturized in your mind. Okay. The second thing, what you need to do, first time you listen, you get some information. Some of the information you may not get it. Second time you do listen, the same part what I am talking about, you get better information than previous one. Then you can go for the third time. When you do listening of part 1, third time you will get a lot of information that you did not get when you started listening for the first time. So at the initial stage, what you need to do, students, only listen and listen. Okay. Because why, what happens, we are very much do listening, we do not get sometime. But when you do continuously, you get familiar with the words, conversation and vocabs. So again I will do the part 1, what are the types of information we get. Here, full name. So again, when you do listening, you get full name. They just pronounce the full name. You need to write the full name. The second one is email address. So sometimes when in the listening, what happens, many students get confused. They give wrong information or they give wrong email ID, and again they say sorry, this is the wrong one, and I am going to give you the another email ID, the correct one. So when you listen to it second time of the same information, you need to pay attention. Then you get the correct answer. The third one is telephone number. So in telephone number, what happens when we do listening? We write 0, 0, 5, 6, 7. In this way we go. But then they do not say 0, but they say 00, 5, 6, 7. So also this thing that we need to keep in mind, students. Month of the year, it is a kind of information that we have. Month of the year they pronounce. When you do this all types of information, you get what you need to do. Wrong numbers are given. Purposely they want to make you confused. They want to make you baffled, and that's the reason that you get wrong information. And sometimes when you do write wrong information, because the conversation goes on, there are a lot of things comes in mind, so you get confused and write the wrong information. But they say, oh sorry, this is the not right information, the timing is different, I cannot be available in this time. So they say sorry, and while the conversation goes on, you write the wrong information by mistake. Correct spelling, as I said, I said previously that you write the correct spelling. Now many times what happens, there are many spellings that you are not come across and you write wrong spellings. So what you need to do, you need to write in your mother tongue. When you write in your mother tongue, and when you get 10 minutes, when you complete the whole IELTS listening, you can write the correct spelling, because you are in a hurry, the conversation goes on, and while that you need to write the correct spelling. But sometimes you get confused and you write wrong spelling. So what you need to write, you can write, this is the strategy, this is the trick that I give you. You can write in your mother tongue, and when you get 10 minutes to transfer your answers, you can write correct spelling. So this is all about IELTS listening of part 1, students. And students, we have completed the whole part. I have given about part 1, what type of questions that we get in part 1. You need to understand that the part 1 is approximately 7 to 8 minutes. The type of question that we discuss, in type of question, that what are the information that we get, as I mentioned, full name, email address, telephone number, months of the year, and these are the words I have written for the tips or maybe strategies. Okay, now students, the whole listening is 30 minutes. Part 1 is meant for 7 to 8 minutes approximately, and these are the information that we get. I hope students that you understand part 1. Only what you need to do, as I mentioned, you need to do listening without getting your answers first time, second time, third time, and when you are confirmed with it, when you think that okay, I get familiar with the words, language and conversation, you can start answering those questions are being asked in part 1. Now students, for your assessment test, after this video, what I need to tell you that after end of this video, I will give you a video of part 1 of IELTS listening, and you can do listening and let me know that how much you get. So after completing my video, one more video will be there of listening part 1 for your assessment test, and you will come to know that how much you get. Thank you students. I hope that you understand.
Cambridge Practice Tests for IELTS 1 by Vanessa Jakeman and Claire McDowell. Published by Cambridge University Press, 1996. This recording is copyright. Cassette 1, Side 1. Practice Test 1. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 sections. Write all your answers in the listening question booklet. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to section 1 of your question booklet. Section 1. You will hear a telephone conversation between a woman and a police officer. First, look at questions 1 to 5. For each of the questions, 4 alternatives are given. Decide which of the alternatives, A, B, C, or D, best fits what you hear on the tape, and circle the appropriate letter. You will see that there is an example which has been done for you. On this occasion only, the conversation relating to the example will be played first.
Good evening, City Police Station. Can I help you?
Oh, hello. I'd like to report a stolen briefcase, please.
Just a minute and I'll put you through.
The woman says she wants to report a stolen briefcase, so A has been circled. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Now listen carefully to the first part of the conversation, and answer questions 1 to 5.
Good evening, City Police Station. Can I help you?
Oh, hello. I'd like to report a stolen briefcase, please.
Just a minute and I'll put you through.
Lost property, can I help you?
Oh, yes. I've had my briefcase stolen.
Okay, I'll take some details. Tell me what it looks like, first of all.
Well, it's a soft leather one, you know, not a heavy box type like a man's.
And how does it close?
It's got buckles at the front, 2 of them. They're gold-plated ones.
Fine. Was it locked?
No, I'm afraid not.
Never mind. Any distinguishing features?
Pardon?
Any marks or badges on it that make it stand out?
Only the brand name.
And where's that?
It's on the back, at the bottom in the left-hand corner. It's saggy. Oh, and there's a scratch. It's quite bad, but small, directly above the brand name. I did it recently, putting it on my bike.
I've got that. So, what did you have inside the briefcase?
Well, all my papers from college. It's so frustrating, but thank goodness for computers. I haven't lost them completely.
Yes, you're lucky.
I had my wallet in my pocket, so I didn't lose that. But there were also my pens, which I got for my birthday, and a novel I was planning to read on the train.
Right. Where exactly did you lose the briefcase?
Well, I couldn't believe it. I was standing on the platform. It was right next to me.
You were holding it?
I'd just put it down on the floor, but I could almost feel it beside me. I was watching for my train because sometimes it comes early, and then next time I looked, my briefcase wasn't there.
And what time was this?
It must have been about 5:20. No, a bit later. I'd say 5:30 because it was just getting crowded, and the train normally comes at about 25 to 6.
Before they continue their conversation, look at questions 6 to 10. As you listen to the rest of the conversation, complete the form by filling in the numbered spaces 6 to 10.
Right. If you'll just give me some personal details.
Yes,
What name is it?
I'm Mary Prescott.
Can you spell that?
Yes, it's Prescott.
And your address?
Flat 2, 41 Fountain Road, Canterbury.
Fountain Road.
Yes, number 41.
And have you got a contact telephone number?
Yes, it's 752239.
752239. Fine. One last question. What would you say the value of your briefcase is?
Including the contents?
Yes. Just a rough estimate is fine.
I'm not sure. Well, the briefcase itself is quite new. I bought it last month for £40. I suppose about £65. The contents are worth about £20 or £25 at least.
That's fine. Well, if you could come down to the station tomorrow, you can sign this form and have a look at what we've got here.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Goodbye.
That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers.